right, let's go. Yeah.
We're back with football again, and today we are discussing the Manchester Derby game. And with me to do a review of that game is Kule Williams, Warifa Marcos, Mustafa Jinod. I'm still Afolabi. You're welcome to another show.
All right, so the way we're going to start off with this is we're going to talk about what is the problem with Man U. So we have a debate going on. Warif said it's time for them to get rid of their coach. Kule and I, I'll get you in a second. And Kule and I say that they have a hole in midfield that they got to really solve. And I don't know I don't even think it's creativity. I think it's actually maybe you guys can tell me, you know better than I do, but they need to have stronger presence in CDM, and maybe they don't have enough number 8 or 6. I mean, they don't have a good enough. They're not strong in that position right now. But we'll start with you, Warif. Yeah.
Okay, you see, as we were talking, I was just thinking, my use issue is not just a coach and the players, also the hierarchy, the board, as you know, the club. They have their own issues, because if you watch right now, if you don't have the player, there's nothing you can do than to fall back to either you use what you have, or you use that integrating players from under 23, under 21. So, and again, the reason why I was saying this coach should be sacked, but Akunle now educated me, saying that once you sack the coach, that means in every coach you lose a game, you sack the coach. Fine, I buy to that. But the thing is that
he can get sacked.
I said he should sack him. The reason why I said he should sack him, because I've watched his kind of play. He's not tactical enough. He's not tactical enough. And with this, what is happening to Man United, before they'll start playing, they'll start having this fear. And
what do you mean by tactical enough? How do you mean by tactical enough? What does that mean?
Listen, let me finish.
I just want to know what that means.
Was isolated today.
You're breaking.
Bruno,
You're breaking up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is that the way he's positioning Bruno, there's too much work put on him or something. He's trying to say that the midfield is not organized the way it should be. You know, what do you think? Yeah. I think that's what he's saying. Afolabi, what do you think?
Yeah, I quite agree with you. And I think that's what Warif is trying to tell us. Now that today Matthias Cunha didn't play, I expected him to push Bruno Fernandes further forward. He's the most creative player by country mile. He's deep in midfield. He can hardly influence the game from that position. And so I expected Bruno Fernandes to play closer to the striker today. But he didn't do that. Instead, he used Mbomo and Ahmad in that position. So I feel that Fernandes deep in midfield is being wasted. And then if you look at the shape of the team, that 3-4-3 system that he was playing at Lisbon, only one coach has been successful with that formation in the Premier League, Antonio Conte. No other coach has managed to be successful with that formation. And Antonio Conte had N'Golo Kante in his midfield. So it's all the time when you are playing that kind of midfield, you are always outnumbered. You are playing against a midfield 3, because most of the teams in the Premier League have at least 3 midfielders. So it's a problem. I don't think that system can work. He would have to tweak it or adjust it somewhat. You know, that's just what I feel.
And also, maybe I'm wrong. I know he's making the excuse that he's taking a new team and he doesn't have the parts that he wants. So he has to get the parts that he wants before he can play the system he wants. But it doesn't seem like he's made any progress to even getting the players that he wants. Maybe that's the owner. You get what I'm trying to say? The team is still stuck in limbo. Because he doesn't go ahead.
I want to address the system thing. We've sacked 6 coaches playing a back 4. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's not worked. So the problem isn't the system. The problem is that when we get a new coach, they don't get the players they need. So when they start the season, they've got half of these. We've got half. We can't get rid of all our players, so we can't get players in. If you look at our transfer window, we didn't sell anybody until almost the end. We hardly sold. We don't know how to sell because we buy so high, we can't sell. So the new coach comes in. He's stuck with all these players that from old coaches, and he has to get them to play his system. It doesn't matter whether it's 3-4-3, 5-3-7, 16-12. What does not matter? The system. If you have the players, they will be fine. Now, the problem with this particular team is goalkeeper and midfield. Bayinda is actually weaker than Onana, but Onana had to go so we can get Layman. Layman's is not yet ready. You know, there's a time in Manchester United, there was a goalkeeper called Massimo Taibi, and he came in much the same way that Layman's came in, and they just threw him on first game, and he had some really, really bad errors, and that was the end of his career. So you don't want to be throwing goalkeepers in like that. So we needed a proper keeper, and we needed a midfielder. We didn't get. It's going to be a long season, and Amorim literally sacked himself by putting Bruno in midfield. We should have sold Bruno. Bruno
we
is
can
our
all
best
agree.
player, but it doesn't suit us.
So we can all agree. Right? We can all agree.
Yeah.
I think Warif is right about the tactics. I think the only thing that he would disagree with.
I wasn't disagreeing. I just wanted him to explain.
I know, but our main disagreement on WhatsApp
about firing of coaches.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that was a very bad move he made. But you can't. At some point, you can't. You have to stick with a coach for some years, because they keep changing their coaches, and we'll be talking like this next September again.
Yeah. They need about 3 to 4 transfer windows at least. Yeah. They need 3 to 4 transfer windows before you can start talking about sacking a coach.
But he needs to be chastised for what he did today tactically, because
what he did today was reprehensible. If he keeps doing that, he's going to sack himself. If he keeps playing Bruno in midfield, he is not going to get past Christmas, because we are going through this phase of sacking coaches willy-nilly. We're changing coaches like we are changing underwear right now, and it's not working.
Captain Underwear,
because what happens is the owners don't support the new manager during the transfer window. The new manager gets frustrated. He starts playing what he thinks he can do. He can't play his game, and then he looks incompetent, and then we sack him. And then we do it all over again, over again, over again, over again, over again, over again, over again. So until they support the manager properly, everybody knew that there was something wrong with that midfield. Mino is not ready. Although Ugarte actually played well today. Bruno is not an 8. He's not a 6. He has no business there. And then what was this about removing Euro for Maguire? I mean, that was really bad by Amorim. I mean, Amorim was like, hey, you know what? Let me put Harry Maguire on the halfway line and let him have a foot chase with Haaland 3 times. Let's see what happens. That's what, I mean, come on, what kind of idea is that? Euro was not injured.
Try and error ideas.
1 game a week. Was he injured?
No,
he wasn't injured.
He wasn't.
He wasn't injured.
Let me ask you guys, did Rodri play?
Oh, yeah, he played
Rodri
90 minutes.
Rodri played.
Yeah,
Rodri set up the first goal. Rodri was the one that played the through ball. I saw that through ball that Rodri played. He played small little passes that look insignificant. But if you watch that first goal that Rodri that Phil Foden scored, Rodri put a small little pass in through that broke the defense straight to Dogu. Dogu dribbled, crossed, and then Foden went in with a beautiful header and put the first goal away.
Okay. So what's your analysis here? Do you guys think that Man City is still a crappy team, or do you think now with Rodri back they're a little bit better, or they're just playing? They just got lucky because they beat Man U, because Man U's not.
Arsenal's going to wipe their ass with them next week. This team is not.
Even the commentator said it. The commentator said it.
Yeah, City didn't play that well.
What are your thoughts upon
Well, I think Man City played against a very poor Manchester United team, and like Kule said, why would you remove a younger, more athletic, more positionally astute Euro for Maguire? I mean, he made some decisions that were bewildering today. I can't imagine him doing that kind of thing. And again, it goes back to the formation, Kule. The 3-4-3 system is a system that is a specialist system. He doesn't have the players to play it now. You need to win games. Why don't you be flexible enough to adapt? And then when you have the players in that position, you can then play like that.
But why buy such a coach? You know, it's like what we did is like, imagine you buy a chef that makes Italian food, and he's an excellent Italian chef, and he gets to the kitchen and he sees soy sauce and noodles, and he's like, look, I make Italian food, and you're just like, you know what? You're just gonna have to manage the ingredients you've got.
Yes, I agree with you. It's the owners. It's the owners.
He cannot change the system.
It's the owners
that's not what
you have to blame.
And the owners
I would blame the owners for getting a coach that is wedded in a particular system. The best coaches in the world are flexible. Look at Guardiola. Guardiola doesn't play 4-3-3 all the time. He plays based on
changes formation.
Every coach is unique. Every coach is unique. Every coach has their style. We knew that this guy said, this is the style I play. I don't play any other style. You better want them. So that's it. If you can't start asking an Italian chef to start making chicken chow mein. It's not going to work.
Because right now,
you either get rid of him,
right now,
you do what he asks
you to win games.
Those are the two choices.
He has to find a way to win games.
You can't ask Italian chef to make begiri.
To make a bao amala.
That's what's going on. If you ask him to play back four, that's what you're doing. You're asking him to do something that he does not do. He doesn't play back four. He's never played back four. It could even be worse because he has no idea how to play back four. This is what he plays. If he doesn't play other systems, okay, fine. Maybe that's his weakness, is that's the only style he plays. But the owners knew that this is the style he plays when they got him. And they owe it to him to make sure that they sorted out that midfield. Now, if they had sold Bruno for 90 million, they would have got Baleba to sort out the midfield sort of, and they would have had Donnarumma in goal instead of Bayinda.
The issue with Baleba was not the cost to Brighton were not willing to sell this season. They were not willing to sell.
Manchester would have pushed now.
The money they were not. The discussions went well. And then Brighton just said that this is the amount, and Manchester United said they can't afford it. It wasn't that Brighton refused. They were ready to let him. They didn't allow. It was the money. They said that they can't pay that money. That was what caused the transaction to fail. Because Baleba is now unsettled in Brighton and playing badly.
Of course, he wanted to make the move. He actually wanted
to make the move. They had talks. The club knew they were having talks. Brighton is a selling club. They knew that they were having talks, and they knew that what their figure was. And Manchester United thought they were going to be like very sexy and come in and say because the player wants to come, they can undercut him by 10 million or something stupid like that. And then they're just like, fuck off, I'm not doing that. I know what I've got. I know what I'm going to sell. No deal. And then Man United were like, we never really wanted him anyway. We're going for him next season. No.
All right, guys. So yes, I think we can agree that the coach Amorim, you can't be using that you don't have personnel as an excuse for that tactical bullshit, the way he played Bruno today. What do you think, Afalabi, before we head to the next thing?
Yeah, I think now that Matheus Cunha is injured, it's a good reason for him to push Bruno closer to the attack. I mean, look at Benjamin Sesko today, was isolated. Look at the kind of passes that Man City was giving Haaland. So he could make those runs because he knows that his midfielders will find him. He kept on making runs and they kept finding him. That is the kind of imagination and guile that Fernandes will give you if he's closer to the striker. But you put him in central midfield, he's not going to influence the game from that place. So I feel that one was a practical blunder.
He was lost there. And it made
but you know what's funny though? You guys say that Arsenal will destroy Man City, but you know what's funny? What was the score of Arsenal versus Man U? I know football is not math. What was the score? 1-0, right?
I didn't say that, or I didn't say they will destroy Man City. Because Arsenal has a habit. Arsenal has a habit of being conservative when they play top 4 teams.
Yeah.
Look at them against Liverpool. They are very conservative.
Okay, very quickly, guys. Very quickly, like in 2 or 3 minutes before we leave, let's talk about Liverpool. Liverpool barely won today. Struggles with producing stuff, but they're, what they say, the king is the king until you dethrone the king. Since last year, they've been winning, but they've been winning ugly. They won an ugly game against Arsenal, 1-0. They survived this game into 95 minutes off of a penalty. It's not impressive, but I still have Liverpool as number 1 on power rankings. Power rankings doesn't mean who's number 1 based on the record. It means who do you think is the best team in the league right now? Who do you think, Kunle?
Liverpool. And you see, the thing is, Liverpool won the league last season, and then they didn't sit on their laurels. They now spent a big bunch of money. Yeah. So you can't just say you're going to beat Liverpool. Liverpool have won, and they've now spent a big bunch of money. Have you spent more than them? Who has spent more than Liverpool?
They're
going to be very strong this season. They're already strong.
Number 1. Who do you think is number one? Yeah.
Liverpool
It's
now
still
by
Liverpool
a
because
lot
it's
of
not about
Liverpool and then Arsenal and then Chelsea. Yeah. All right. So very quickly though.
Liverpool and not Chelsea.
Yeah, I believe Liverpool is number one, Arsenal's number two, Chelsea. But very quickly, I follow me. Tell us what was it that Burnley did so good to be able to. Burnley's defense was fantastic. What do you think was the key to them holding Liverpool? What was your analysis on that?
They played a 5-4-1. They were very solid and compact in defense. That's what they do at home. And their physicality sort of overwhelmed Liverpool. But Liverpool has tried on moments of quality. Liverpool has not played particularly well. And that's what makes them scary. But they keep churning out victories. They've won 4 on the trot.
And this is a very valuable victory that's going to come back for them in May.
So by the time
they had to go to 95 minutes.
95 minutes. So by the time they start playing well, I can't imagine how they will be performing.
And Burnley is a relegation bound team.
Yeah.
Burnley is relegation bound.
If they had lost 2 points to Burnley, that's devastating. Those 2 points now is worth $1 billion as far as I'm concerned. They got the points. So and also they survived. They played Arsenal and won. So for now we have to keep them there. But yeah, you're right. Burnley is not a great team. But once again, when teams like Burnley, when you play them at home, you have to be careful. Last starts,
they're banana skins.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
What they did against Liverpool, they gave Liverpool players man. They never gave them that breathing space.
Man to man,
yeah. It was unfortunate that match, and I was blaming the only coach, Parker. The Nigerian guy that was on yellow card would have removed that guy when the guy was still on the pitch. Knowing fully well that record pressure was on him.
Yeah, he should have taken him out. He should have taken him out.
Yes.
I have a question for you, Afabi. How many games has Liverpool won this year or survived late in stoppage time? It's like,
exactly. In fact, there was a joke that
Rocky Balboa in every game.
They're winning all their games in injury time. That's what I'm saying, that they have not played particularly well.
That's going to be the title, injury victory.
But they have won 4 games and they have taken 3 points off Arsenal, who are one of their league rivals.
Yeah.
So by the time they
biggest, I think Arsenal are the second best team in the league right now.
Yeah, Arsenal is the second.
Even if they're not in that position, that's
we'll talk about Chelsea tomorrow because we don't have time.
My problem with Arsenal is when they play the top teams, they are far too conservative. They don't take risks.
He's Arteta. He wants to go and play defensive game to get it, but you can't play defensive game. Come play an open game.
They shot on Nottingham Forest 3-0. Although Nottingham Forest had disarray because they lost their manager. You know, they lost Nuno Espirito Santo.
They brought in that clown. They brought in that clown that Tottenham sacked.
All right, guys.
So they just played an open game and they're going to break through. They ripped through Forest.
Good show, guys. So we'll be watching another episode of
the Champions League back this week.
So we have to talk about Champions League tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do a show tomorrow talking about football because we need more time. Everybody, you're watching Global Football Nigeria. Nigeria/South Africa. South Africa's favorite channel. I'm just kidding. All right, guys, like it, subscribe. Take it out of follow me.
Okay, another brilliant show. I've been discussing the Liverpool victory late in the game against Burnley and the Manchester derby with 3 points to Manchester City from Mustafa Kunle Warif. We'll be back again during the week.
Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.